This is 1480 KRAE Cheyenne. What you are about to hear is a sports talk radio show unlike any other that has ever before been broadcast in the capital city of Cheyenne, Wyoming, USA. This is Cheyenne, Wyoming's Sports Talk Authority. The Wyoming Cowboys, the Denver Broncos, the Colorado Rockies, and the Denver Nuggets. The show is local, it's regional, and yes, the show is national as well. Wyoming Sports Talk Today is on the air. If they're talking sports on the radio in Cheyenne, this is the place it happens. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
And good afternoon. Welcome to Wyoming Sports Talk Today. Larry Perley along with Nick Pro, the abbreviated program, Pro-Man Senior, not feeling all up to snuff right now. So real quick to let you know, our program each Monday through Thursday, all is brought to you by Taco John's, Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service. Taco John's of Cheyenne, by the way. Chick-fil-A at the corner of Windmill and Del Range. Kia of Cheyenne over on Nationway. Platte Valley Bank ×2 on Vanda High Avenue, and of course the east side location at the corner of College and Pershing. Medicap Pharmacy for all your pharmaceutical needs over on Bluegrass Circle next door to Texas Roadhouse. Lennox Auto Body ×2, the Auto Repair Center on Dunn Avenue, the Auto Glass and Detail Center over on Pershing Boulevard. First Tier Bank at 1508 Stillwater Avenue, across the street at 1507 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D in the Greenway Commons. It's Mondello's Pizzeria. Mars Plumbing and Heating at 1515 Logan Avenue, and we also want to thank Pepsi of Cheyenne, because with Pepsi of Cheyenne, we always go to our scoreboard, check out what's going on in the world of sports. Let's go first over to Nick.
Unfortunately, no LCCC, at least sports in action, coming up today, but I do want to remind folks coming up tomorrow, Friday, it will be Game of the Week time for high school football, as here on 1480 KRAE. We'll be live over at East High, where it'll be the East High Thunderbirds hosting the Laramie Plainsmen. That will be a 6 o'clock start time, as we got that information passed along today. 6 o'clock start time, as it is homecoming there for Cheyenne East. And pregame show about 5:20-ish, tentative schedule for that contest. Again, where you can listen to it on 1480 AM, 101.1 FM in the Cheyenne area. 1480krae.com is where we web stream. And for the video live stream, we do it over on Periscope and the 1480 KRAE YouTube channel. So 5 different ways to tune in for Laramie versus Cheyenne East coming up tomorrow.
Major League Baseball, the Rockies, the first place Rockies in the NL West, looking to go a full game up on the idle Dodgers today and looking for the 4-game sweep of Philadelphia. They lead the Phils right now at the top of the 6th inning, 3-1. Final from earlier, the Yankees clobbering the Rays in the chop, final score 12-1. Games getting underway at 5 o'clock. It will be the Astros at the Orioles. Braves at the Mets. It will be the Indians and the Royals in the 6 o'clock hour, 6:05 start time. Pirates and the Cubs. The Cubs still holding on to their half-game lead in the NL Central. It will be the Tigers at the Twins, Rangers, and the Mariners later tonight in the 8 o'clock hour. Scoreboard brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne.
This is the Pepsi that's got a date with your taste buds. We're talking 1,000 bubbles dancing a two-step with you and 2 tacos at 2 a.m.
Order number 83. Come on, you're up.
This is the Pepsi that has mastered the art of the late-night munchies and is always down to dig into some deep dish.
Hey, we don't do deep dish, capiche?
Try telling that to Chicago. This is the Pepsi for po' boys, pulled pork sliders, and the godfather of all sandwiches, the Godfather. This is the Pepsi for street carts, anything a la carte, and is dying to make the leap into your grocery cart. Come on, take us home with you. This is the Pepsi for those who are forever fun. This is the Pepsi for every generation.
You're listening to Cheyenne's new Sports Talk Authority. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today on AM 1480 KRAE.
We do want to mention, too, there is Thursday night football tonight with the 3-0 Los Angeles Rams in the Coliseum. They'll play host to the Minnesota Vikings for anybody that cares of Thursday night football.
It was interesting at the beginning of the season now with Minnesota. Again, it was intriguing, but at this point in time, Minnesota doesn't look like the team I thought they were. LA, they should easily win that contest.
we'll see coming up later on tonight. Again, I do apologize, and I say this wholeheartedly. Very rarely do I not answer the bell. Today, I just feel like just feel bad, and it's like I'm trying to come down out of this thing, and I want to be ready for the ball game tomorrow night.
Doesn't sound like you're going to be anytime soon.
I will be. I guarantee you. I'm not like you. I don't miss the bell. I will be.
I haven't missed anything. Again, I'm here.
You were sick. Remember one day, and we didn't do the show. At least I'm here doing the
probably
show.
Probably like last year or something like that. I don't know.
We're doing half a show
it's
here
been a
today,
long time,
so I can get off my voice for a little bit. But we do have a special hour for you. We will have our picks coming up on the back side of the hour. We do have here on the front side of the hour. We had conversations with East High Athletic Director Jerry Schlabs, East High Head Coach Chad Goff, and we'll also talk with Laramie Head Coach Clint Reed, as it will be East and Laramie tomorrow at the Oakey Blanchard Sports Complex. As Nick mentioned, our pregame show around 5:25, kickoff slated for 6 o'clock, homecoming, so that means halftime will be about a half hour tomorrow.
Yeah, 20 minutes or so, but they'll add time to it as well. But again, at least a lengthy process. Again, 5 different ways to tune in to tomorrow's game, which we will notify you again on social media side coming up on Friday, whether Twitter, Facebook side for Wyoming Sports Talk today. So, again, just give you that quick reminder of 1480 AM, 101.1 FM, 1480KRAE.com, Periscope, and the 1480 KRAE YouTube channel. So 5 different ways. Again, the video production will be there. It will be upgraded a few, as we added, or at least I did add a few more elements to the show as well. So again, hopefully folks will enjoy that, as yes, we will be live with the video portion coming up this Friday.
All right, we're going to take a timeout, and when we come back, we will check in with some comments from Jerry Schlabs from our pregame show. We'll be back after these words here on 1480 KRAE. Due to our stormy season this summer, Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service is offering you a hail of a deal on a wide variety of travel trailers, including toy haulers. Get up to an additional 50% off MSRP on Jolly Rogers' already low prices. Check out their new and used inventory. Damaged or not, you can still travel in style. Call Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service today, your exclusive Jayco dealer, at 634-8457. See them at 6102 U.S. Highway 30 or go to jollyrogersrv.com.
The next time you have a craving for authentic Mexican cuisine, visit Hacienda Guadalajara at 317 East Lincoln Way. Locally owned and operated, they serve their dishes with family tried and true recipes with the freshest of ingredients, made to order. Start off your meal with their complimentary chips, salsa, and bean dip. And if you're feeling adventurous, enjoy your favorite margarita or cerveza. Hacienda Guadalajara, where the spice is always nice.
At Platte Valley Bank, we believe it shouldn't cost you money to access your money. That is why we offer free ATMs anytime, anywhere. Whether you are across town or traveling abroad, there won't be an added expense to access the funds in your Platte Valley Bank account. Free ATMs are just one of the great benefits of banking with us. Stop by and talk to one of our friendly associates to discuss what else Platte Valley Bank has to offer.
Platte Valley Bank, member FDIC.
You can count on Platte Valley Bank. Community banking for you.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For today, it'll be mostly sunny with highs around 73 and winds out of the northwest at 10 to 15. Then for tonight, it'll be mostly cloudy with lows around 35 and winds out of the northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. On Friday, it'll be partly sunny with a chance of rain early in the morning with highs around 49. And on Friday night, it'll be partly cloudy with lows around 37.
When it comes to sports talk in Cheyenne, it's a whole new ball game.
Let's play ball.
You're listening to Wyoming Sports Talk today, and it's only here on AM 1480 KRAE.
And we kick things off with our athletic director's report. This week we had a chance to chat again with a longtime friend, Jerry Schlabs, the AD at Cheyenne. Jerry, a couple of things here, especially on the sports scene. First off, that has to make you pretty happy right now, pretty giddy. First off was the performance by Danny Blake in the state golf championship, and we got to comment on last week's big win against Natrona County.
Yeah, without a doubt. Our golf team had a tremendous year. They won every single tournament except one, and then they ended up being, taking the runner-up trophy home from the state tournament, which I know they were a little disappointed, but at the same time, what a tremendous accomplishment for them as a team, and like you said, for Blake, as a two-time individual state champ is pretty crazy. He shot some unreal scores this year. I know there were some days where he shot 67, 67 back-to-back, and didn't have the best final day of the state tournament. I know he was wanted to shoot better that day, but obviously shot well enough the first day to take home another state championship. And so just a huge accomplishment for him, and no one works harder on the golf course than that kid, not only during the season but throughout the entire year. So we're very proud of him and very proud of our entire golf team. And 2 years in a row runner-up is a pretty great thing, and hopefully we can get over the hump and get that championship in the coming years. And then, like you said, the last Friday night, the Natrona football game, for a fan, what a fun game to watch, and for the players, what a fun game to be a part of, and both teams battled, and we've had some great battles with Natrona, and that just is another one that we can add to the storybook. And we had some kids step up and do some great things that looked like it might be a high-scoring game at the beginning, and then the defense stepped in and had some great stops, and we had some great individual performances, and as a team they just came together and found a way to win and found a way to get that turnover at the end and make stops when they needed to, and it was just a big win for our program.
Jerry, I always think back to when coaches, especially on the D1 side, like the University of Wyoming Cowboys had their bye week, and they say, this is a week for us to get out and about and do a little scouting or, do a little recruiting. And I was always curious, do the coaches from the University of Wyoming call you, or do they call the various coaches, whether it's golf, whether it's cross country or football? Do they call the individual coaches or you to come on out and scout a certain student athlete?
It's both, actually. There's a lot of times they go with the coaches, obviously, because they have questions about certain athletes and that are more specific to the sport that they're participating in. But I also get a ton of calls from the college coaches and the scouts, saying they want to come do this or get contact information on this, or it's interesting. We tell our kids, a lot of things they ask for. We talk a lot about. That's why we talk so much about character and those types of things, because outside of the sport itself and their performance on the field or court or wherever it may be, coaches really look at those types of things, and we've been lucky enough to have that experience at really high levels with kids like James Johnson and Brandon Nimmo, where we've had some pretty major colleges and pro teams calling us and talking to us. So it's been a fun experience for us, as well as as a local athletic director in Cheyenne, as well as for our coaches. But they do contact the coaches most of the time, but they do contact me as well numerous times, and it's fun for everybody when somebody like Craig Bowles shows up to a football game and watches a game for us. It's fun for the kids and the coaches and the crowd, and so we love having that happen.
As I look at this time of year, we're officially into about the 5th week of school. This is going to be the 6th week of football coming up Friday night at Okie Blanchard Sports Complex. But also, too, it's the time where grades start coming into play for our student athletes. So I guess my question is, are you the man in charge of the, quote, discipline, or do each individual coach of various fall sports and winter sports programs, do they hand out the disciplinary type of punishments, I guess, if it would be for grades or violating team rules? How does that all come about? What's your role in all of this?
Well, you're right. It's kind of all the above. It comes from me, first of all. So each week I run eligibility for all the teams, and then I send those to the individual coaches. And so I run it, send it to the individual coaches. The coaches talk to the kids and the teams. I also talk, individually to some of the kids that are participating that may need a little extra push or a little emphasis on, our expectations on what we want from them in the classroom. Obviously, that's first and foremost what they need to be doing well in, and we take it very seriously. Obviously, they have a week usually if they have an F in a class to be on probation, and this is a district policy where they have an opportunity to bring things up and they can still participate and play. If they have an F in any class 2 weeks in a row, then they're ineligible to play any games until those grades are brought up to passing. And so it's a team effort with our, from the administration all the way down to our coaches. And, we work really hard at it. We get kids into study tables. We have EHS time in the morning and afternoons for the kids, so they have opportunities to come and make up work if they need to or get caught up in a class. And then, of course, the teachers do a tremendous job of staying on top of that as well. The teachers stay in contact with the coaches and the teachers do a great job of working with the kids to make sure that they can get things in a timely manner if they miss for a certain event or something like that. They work hard to give those kids as many opportunities as possible to make sure that they make the grade. And ultimately, if they don't, then they're not going to be participating.
Final thought, and I've had a few discussions with Coach Goff, and I know Coach was a little disappointed that they had to drop a couple of games this season for his younger troops, and I was wondering again your role with Coach Goff or other coaches if you happen to lose a game because of one reason or another. Is it your job? Is it Coach Goff's job? Who gets on the phone and tries to find that extra game?
It really, once again, it's a team effort. It's mostly my job. I work really hard to get on the horn. Coach Goff and all of our coaches are preparing for practices and teaching class, obviously. And so I really try to put that on my plate. But obviously, with our football team, the Coach Goff takes a major role in that as well, just because of the contacts that he may have. And usually when we drop a game, it's the week of. We don't know about it, and we're one of the few programs in the state that plays all of our levels and plays full schedules at our freshman, sophomore, JV, and varsity level. And so we really believe in that. We believe in getting kids reps and opportunities and building some depth. And so we work really hard at that. And even if we lose a game, for example, on a Tuesday of a week, we get on the horn and really try to find those kids a game so they don't miss out on those opportunities. And because of usually it's an emergency, Coach Goff and I both do make the calls. But ultimately with the schedules and all that information, I try to put that on my plate and take that off the coaches so they can concentrate on what they need to.
1480 KRAE is your home for live play-by-play coverage of high school basketball and football. Hi, this is Nick Brody inviting you to hear all the play-by-play calls of East, Central, and South football and basketball. You'll hear the conference action along with the postseason, and during the basketball season, 1480 KRAE features both boys and girls games. Catch all the exciting calls on AM 1480 KRAE, also streaming the games worldwide on the web at 1480KRAE.com.
The all-new 2018 Kia Stinger strikes a perfect balance between performance and refinement. I'm A.J. Miller for Kia of Cheyenne. The 2018 Kia Stinger comes with your choice of 2 turbocharged engines matched with an 8-speed automatic transmission. Stinger is also available with numerous amenities like a 720-watt 15-speaker premium sound system. Some say that's just perfect. Check out the Kia Stinger at Kia of Cheyenne. Call us at 775-0123 or go to KiaofCheyenne.com and we'll make it easy.
You love the Lennox difference, from collision repair to minor nicks and dents. Certified quality you can trust. Nobody cares about your car more than us. Lennox Auto Body, we do what we say. We fix it right and get you on your way. No shortcuts, no compromise. Lennox Auto Body. No shortcuts, no compromise.
Lennox Auto Body at 1020 Dunn Avenue and the Detail Center at 617 East Pershing Boulevard, Cheyenne. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria at 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
Tired of lazy and predictable sports talk radio? We know you are. This is Cheyenne's new sports radio home. It's Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's right here on AM 1480 KRAE.
Right now we have an opportunity to talk to Cheyenne's head coach Chad Goff before tonight's game with the Laramie Plainsmen here at the Oakville Blanchard Sports Complex. Coach, real quick, let's look back on last week's win against the Natrona Mustangs. And again, I revert back to last year when I saw your sophomore team play up at Cheney Alumni Field in the rain, and I noticed those kids mounted a comeback against the Natrona Mustangs. And I said, this is a pretty good group of kids that are going to be able to, stand tall and be reckoned with when the time comes for them to play at the varsity level. Did you see that same type of enthusiasm with your kids last week in the win against the Mustangs?
Yeah, I mean, it was just a good battle. Both teams really played hard, and it was fun to be a part of it. The kids just rose up there and were able to mount that comeback there in the fourth quarter, and it was just it was a good step for our program.
You know, Coach, and you've been in this ball game for a long time. It's a great win, and it's good for the standings and hopefully the seeding for the upcoming playoffs. But you have to move on. You got to get ready for the next contest, right?
No doubt, no doubt. That's the one thing we talked about right away Saturday morning is, don't be that team that wins a big game and has a huge letdown, and that's not saying that we should walk through Laramie by any means. I think Laramie's a good football team, and so the point to the kids all week was, Laramie has done a lot of good things all year. If you watch their film, they played Natrona well, I thought. They've been in, they're able to mount that comeback last week as well, and so they're a team fighting as well. And so we really just kind of went back to work on Monday and kind of stayed the same course.
As you practice for the Plainsmen this week, it's interesting because it's almost like your number one defense would be practicing against the number one offense. They pretty much mirror what you do.
Yeah, they're a 10-personnel team through and through. They do a good job with it. Their quarterback's a stud. He runs the ball hard. Their running back, when he gets the ball in his hand, he runs the ball hard. And they don't have they have some receivers to complement all that. And so they spread you out, and they try to use their athletes.
As you prepare for the Laramie Plainsmen, obviously the difference that I see between East and Laramie is that their quarterback, Upton's going to carry the football more than their running back.
Yeah, no doubt. He carries it quite a bit. He's a stud with it in his hands, and so that's definitely a key focus for us all week on defense to make sure that we're keying the quarterback, and there's always someone on him, no matter whether he hands it off or you think he hands it off or whatever, you're always keying on him.
The final thought, too, is I don't know how much you watched of the Central game versus Laramie, but when you've seen Clint Reed's team before, they've seen the Cheyenne Thunderbirds before. Again, everybody seems to know everybody in Class 4A, but was there something that you saw in the film from last week's game or throughout the course of the season with Laramie that you might be able to expose?
I think with them, I think in playing them for the last few years, I guess the biggest thing is that I'm not sure there's anything that we can expose per se. The thing with the team we've talked about all week is you have to respect them. Throw the records out the door. That's the one thing this program is trying to get better at is remembering why we play the game on Friday night. There's a reason that they don't just go, oh, well, they're 4-1 and they're 2-3, so let's give it to the 4-1. You got to show up and you got to play the game. And so we just that's kind of what we focused on as well as 2 years ago. It's homecoming for us, and that didn't fare well for us 2 years ago, and so we made sure that the kids understood what it means to show up and play and not get distracted by all the other surroundings that are going on.
Come one, come all to Riverbend Nursery and Stone Company's second annual Fall Halloween Festival Farmers and Crafters Market on Saturday, October 20th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. If you would like to display your wares at this special event, well, don't wait. Call Bethany or Lynette at 307-638-0147 Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. till 3 p.m. We had so much fun last year that we get to do it again. So be a part of the Fall Halloween Festival Farmers and Crafters Market on Saturday, October 20th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. at family-owned and operated Riverbend Nursery and Stone Company on North Yellowstone Road in Cheyenne.
Taco John's presents Olay the Day Pep Talks.
Good game, boys. You showed some real fight. Like when Wachowski put that hit on our own mascot. Solid work, son. Okay, Friday was for football, but Tuesday is for tacos. Taco Tuesday at Taco John's. It's a sacred holiday where we eat tacos repeatedly until I get full.
Save big every Taco Tuesday with crispy beef tacos for just 99 cents.
Get some rest, boys, because come Taco Tuesday, we olay the day.
Olay the day at Taco John's. Olay!
Check out the huge savings this week at Town & Country Supermarket Liquors. Here are just a few of the terrific weekly specials. Stock up on these featured buys heard only right here. Jose Cuervo Authentic Margaritas, all available flavors, 1.75-liter bottle, $13.49. Patron Silver Tequila, 750 milliliter bottle, $32.99. And Corona Light, Corona Premier, Pacifico, Modelo Especial, or Negra Modelo, 12-pack, 12-ounce cans or bottles, $14.69. Town & Country Supermarket Liquors on the South Greeley Highway, Cheyenne's low-price leader.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For today, it'll be mostly sunny with highs around 73 and winds out of the northwest at 10 to 15. Then for tonight, it'll be mostly cloudy with lows around 35 and winds out of the northwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. On Friday, it'll be partly sunny with a chance of rain early in the morning with highs around 49. And on Friday night, it'll be partly cloudy with lows around 37.
Here the season never ends. From Wyoming sports to the Broncos in Denver. From Rockies baseball to talking hoops with Nuggets basketball. Local, regional, and national. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, right here on AM 1480 KRAE.
Once again, we'll get a chance to talk to Laramie head coach Clint Reed. Coach, real quick, I want to go back to last week and talk about the game between Cheyenne Central. First and foremost, I've seen Laramie comebacks before at the old D-Ty Stadium, but boy, I'll tell you what, you have to be very proud of your young men, how they came back in that second half and picked up the win against the Indians.
No, really, we really do. After losses, the kids have rallied and come out and played strong. And then this time, we came out and basically laid an egg in the first half. I think between illnesses and some injuries, we struggled to focus and it's coming out of the gate. Went into halftime and it wasn't some big lecture. It wasn't some big motivational talk. It was just, hey, it's time to take a deep breath, start thinking about how to focus, what's our responsibilities, our alignments, or, create some discipline. And, we had something like 15 penalties or so, and 11 of them were in the first half for about 133 yards for the game or something such as that. And so it was time to clean that up and focus and buckle down, and they did. One play at a time, one drive at a time, one score at a time.
I'm glad you mentioned the penalties because I was going to get into my pregame with that. That had to be disappointing. You're midway through the season and your team is still committing a lot of mistakes like that. Does that show the immaturity of the team, or was Central that good on getting your kids to jump offside?
It's a combination of everything. Coaches have to take responsibility in making sure we put them in a position to be successful. Using different cadences and different practice techniques. And so those are things that we tried to clean up, just like special teams a couple of weeks ago was struggling and made it a focus. It's something we started out practice. So it's something we worked on again this week. And just with young people, sometimes you have to remind them. Sometimes you get away from some of the basics. And so we went right back to some basics, just like we were coming out of two-a-days. So hopefully that shows this Friday night.
One thing you do have to compliment, though, is your field general, and that would be Jason Upton. What I saw in the second half was a totally different quarterback from the first half. He came out there and he basically took charge of the offense. And, when you have a customer like that is so cool in your backfield, you know good things are going to happen.
No, I agree with you. He's a very athletic young man, no matter what sport he plays in. But the quality that he has, just like a few of our other seniors, is just some good leadership. Some of those kids are the ones that rallied the boys at halftime. They're the one that came out, talked to them at the sideline and said, hey, it's time to go. It's, it's showtime right now. It's game night, Friday night, and let's get it going and forget about the first half. And he basically speaks through actions, and that's what he did. He just led the team and worked really hard.
As you get ready for Cheyenne Easton, I know you had a couple of injuries in that contest. I do believe it was Benjamin Martinez, your senior, and also I saw, if I'm not mistaken, Benjamin Krusik also coming off the field hobbling. Also been battling the bug like I'm battling right now. But tell us a little bit, how's the health coming in for the game against the Cheyenne East Thunderbirds?
Yeah. We, at this time of season, like any team, you start experiencing some injuries, and we've been very fortunate so far this year. Krusik had some cramping. He's been nursing some other injuries. He just plays so hard. He's, gets banged up inside in the interior line, but he's good to go. Probably more healthy this week than he has been in a couple weeks. Martinez, we thought maybe it was more serious than it was. It's looking really good, but we are in the middle of the season, and it's more important how we finish and still make that run to try to make the playoffs. And so, it'll be a game time decision with him, but if we can, we'll hold off on playing him, give him another week rest, and see if he's ready to go the following week.
As you prepare for the T-Birds, pretty much your number one defense looks at your number one offense because there's a lot of similarities between you and Cheyenne East on both sides of the football.
Yeah, very much so. Even schemes and stuff are very similar. They've kind of got a spread offense there, a lot of counters and zone. Some very talented athletes over there at East, and Coach Goff is a very, very good coach. has been there for quite a while now and solidified what they do with consistency and some discipline there. So it's always a great challenge coming over the hill to play them. Defensively, very similar to what we've seen around the state, some 4-4, single high over the top, but sometimes you'll see like a 4-3 and a two-man over the top, cover two. So it kind of mirrors that. So it's kind of like using what we do in practice to get ready for them. And again, it just comes down to being disciplined and fundamentals and reading your keys. And so we know as athletic as they are and as strong as they are, it'll be a big battle Friday night.
Once again, our thanks to Clint Reed, head coach at Laramie High School, head coach Chad Goff at Cheyenne East, and athletic director at East, Jerry Schlabs. Once again, the game tomorrow, 6 o'clock kickoff. It is homecoming, and we'll be on the air about 5:25. Myself, Chris Bolton, along with Nick Proetti. Again, the 5 different ways that you can catch our contest tomorrow. We will have it for you here on 1480 KRAE.
Yeah.
Very
anyways, though, yeah.
Glad you could chip in there.
Yeah, whatever says there, Mr. Mopey. Anyways, though, for Jerry Schlabs, AD, he wanted us to pass along a few notes regarding at least tomorrow's contest. Again, it is homecoming between East and Laramie. Again, I just want to pass this along that the homecoming parade will start at 5 o'clock in front of the East High School. This includes floats, entries from all 8 East Triad elementary schools, KRAE Junior High, and all East High activities and sports teams. They will have about approximate 50 floats and entries for this parade. And then also, too, they will have a free tailgate party at Okie following the parade tomorrow. So, again, those are pregame festivities for homecoming. Again, the parade starting at 5 o'clock, a free tailgate party at Okie Blanchard at Elite Sports Complex. Following the parade there, again, it will be down Pershing as they start from East High School, travel down the hill into the stadium, just like that. So get there early, get there often, and enjoy the festivities coming up tomorrow.
And enjoy all the tailgate eats that they have on tap for tomorrow as well. All right, we move along to our picks. Again, it's an abbreviated program, and once again, my apologies on my side here. Just trying to get myself better.
Yeah, so if you wanted a full 2 hours, you know who to blame now, or at least send your hate mail that way. Oh, what? I can't take a jab at you while you're down and out?
No, you're not going to take a jab at me.
I just did.
Right now is not a good day to do it.
Oh, please. You're sick. You can't even do anything. You can't do anything when you're healthy. Anyways.
Oh, I can breathe on you. I can cough on you.
You better not. I'll take you out.
I can blow a snot ball on you if you want.
I brought you into this media world, and I'll take you out.
Right, yeah.
Anyways,
40+ years I've been.
Anyways.
How old are you? 20 what? 28?
I'm insulted that you don't. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, who cares? Anyway, let's move along here. What did we do last week in our picks?
I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, I do want to talk about it.
You're above 500. I'm below 500, but it's still close. I think. Again, without.
That's what hurts you.
What do you mean?
When you think you hurt us.
Well, I haven't been thinking in my picks of recently because, again, I'm below 500, so I'll have to make a massive comeback, and hopefully I will coming up week 4 here as what we do weekly here on Wyoming Sports Talk today, as we did last season, we will do this season again, but we've altered a few things as we pick 5 games, not 7 anymore, but now 5 games between NCAA football and NFL games of my choosing of that are interesting, intriguing to myself, whether it's point spread, the games that are being played. Again, it's just 5 games at random of my choosing. And we'll start with game number 1. That'll come up on Saturday in the NCAA ranks. We'll start with number 12, West Virginia, the Mountaineers. They are 3-0. They will be taking on at number 25, Texas Tech, the Red Raiders. They are 3-1 overall. This will be at Jones AT&T Stadium in Lubbock, Texas. It will be a 10 a.m. kickoff on ESPN2. Now, West Virginia, the Mountaineers, are a 3.5-point favorite. Now, with every game, at least on the NCAA football side, I do give a little 3 factoids about this game to sway yourself, myself, and anyone who's playing along with the home version, tuning in. Anyways, though, for this contest between West Virginia and Texas Tech, the Red Raiders are looking for wins over top 15 opponents in consecutive weeks for the first time since 2008. When Tech topped number 1 Texas and number 8 Oklahoma State at home. Now, Texas Tech enters this weekend with a 14-8 record all-time in Big 12 home openers, despite dropping 6 of the last 9. And Texas Tech and West Virginia will be meeting for the 8th time Saturday as the Mountaineers lead the overall series with a 5-2 advantage. Again, as I mentioned, Mountaineers 3.5-point favorites on the road against the Texas Tech Red Raiders. I'll let you go first.
You're going to let me go? All right. Well, I'm all ready to rock and roll.
I hedged my bet on a lot of these, so I'll let you go.
Looking at first and foremost, I try to see if they had any common opponents against them, but I'm looking at West Virginia being probably a little more stout offensively than Texas Tech. Yes, I know this one. Actually,
Texas Tech is wide receiver U, so they know how to put points.
There's going to be a lot of points in this one, but I think West Virginia has just a little better defense, and I think they're going to win, especially in Lubbock. It will be the West Virginia Mountaineers over the Texas Tech Red Raiders.
So you'll take the points for the Mountaineers. I hedge my bet on this one. I got to go with Texas Tech. Also, too, because I believe in this Red Raiders team. I think it's a team that, especially you give them the advantage at home, it's very tough to win there at AT&T Stadium, at least in Lubbock. But this Red Raiders team has a feeling that could be a little bit of a dark horse entity in the Big 12, compete against the likes of a Texas, maybe surprise Oklahoma State, probably not Oklahoma, but may bring a few eyes and ears towards the city of Lubbock and towards this team. I think Texas Tech, at home, you got that slight advantage. They know how to put points on the board. They're going to have a tough time against West Virginia, at least with that stingy defense, but something tells me Tech gets the victory coming up this Saturday.
And, oh, by the way, if you want to see what our overall records are, you just go to fortune80krae.com. You look at our weekly picks, where I'm 9-4-2, and Nick is 6-7-2 overall. Is that right?
I'm one game below 500. It's not as bad as you were last year.
But you're 3 games behind me.
Yeah,
okay.
That's still plenty
Let's
of time.
go to game 2. So you and I disagree right out of the box.
Well,
okay?
I disagreed on a lot of them. I went opposing on you instead of agreeing. So
that's fine.
Again, trying to alter my record.
I may go 0-5 this week.
I can only hope so.
And I'll be at the Mendoza line.
Good. Anyways, so coming up, game number 2 of our Week 4 picks, we'll go with Boise State. The Broncos, they are 2-1 overall. They will be at Wyoming. The Cowboys, they are 2-2, and this game will be at the War Memorial Stadium in Laramie, Wyoming, 5 p.m. kickoff, and you can see that game on CBS Sports Network, or how about you just head on over to Laramie and just watch the game live in the stands like the rest of us are going to do. Now, Boise State Broncos, they are 17-point favorite. 17-point favorite in this contest. Now, for this game right here, the home team has won each of the past 2 meetings in the series between the 2 teams. Wyoming won 38-28 in 2016 in Laramie, and Boise State won 24-14 in 2017 out there in Boise. Wyoming is 10-9 in Mountain West openers, and the overall series record between these two, well, guess what? It's in favor of Boise. They lead the series 11-1. in that one. So with all that being said, I will go this time around. Yeah, sorry. Cowboys defense, they'll keep strong for about 3 quarters. We'll keep it close. It'll probably be fairly decent for maybe the first half of the game. Offense is going to still have issues against this Boise State team. Come the 4th quarter, Cowboys defense gets a little tired. Boise starts firing. And yeah, that 17 points, absolutely. I think Boise that has enough talent, as much as, again, that one lone loss was on the road at Oklahoma State, a ranked opponent in the Big 12. Yes, I do believe that Boise State comes away, and I'll take those 17 points.
I disagree with you. I think, do I believe Boise will win? Very, very could, win this thing. There's no doubt about it. But 17 points, I think that's showing a lot of disrespect to the Cowboys' defense. I think after having our chat with Tyler Vanderwall this week, I think we'll see some of the weapons back that he needed offensively. Mm-hmm. We might see some
with the likes of
Nico Evans,
Austin Ford. Yeah, so
yeah, and I think we're getting the one lineman back. So the bullets in the gun are going to be shooting a lot better. This is
a team that was earlier on. It was in the top 25. It is still a great defense that you're playing against. So the Wyoming Cowboys, the offense is going to have struggle.
It's not Mizzou, so they're not going to win by 22 points.
I think if you put a battle between Boise and Missouri, I think Boise State could probably edge out that contest.
I doubt it. I doubt
again, I think Boise State.
They won't beat an
Boise State was picked number 1 in the Mountain West for a reason. I still think
Boise State lose to earlier. Oklahoma State
on the road.
Right.
That's again on the road against and they were a top 25 team,
and they were beat up in that game.
Wow.
I think at home the Cowboys will at least go toe to toe with Boise. I think they'll run out of gas, like you said, in the second half, but not to the extent of 17 points.
I mean, it's been blowouts with Washington State, Missouri.
This one won't be a blowout. This one will be a lot closer than people think. I'm going to go with Boise State also to win. Excuse me, I'm going to go with Wyoming to cover the point spread, but Boise State will win the contest, maybe by about 10.
So you'll go with Wyoming, not necessarily to win, but they'll keep it competitive under that 17?
No, I'll take the 17 points any day.
All right, and then I'll take Boise State to cover that 17 points. Now, game number 3, we'll move on. This is still on Saturday with NCAA football. It will be the number 4 ranked Ohio State Buckeyes. They are 4-0. They will be at number 9 Penn State, the Nittany Lions. They are 4-0 as well. This will be at Beaver Stadium in University Park, Pennsylvania, Happy Valley. This will be a 5:30 kickoff on ABC is where you can catch this one. Ohio State, the Buckeyes, 3.5-point favorite. And this one coming up. Now for this game, it will be a matchup of the highest scoring offenses in the nation as Penn State. They average 55.5 points a game, and Ohio State, who averages 54.5 points, rank first and second respectively in the FBS. Penn State is 13-15 in the 28 previous top 10 regular season matchups. Penn State has won 17 out of its last 19 games against Big Ten opponents. With all that being said, guess what? It's your turn.
You know, I'm just so PO'd at Columbus, Ohio, and Ohio State, like nothing ever happened there. I mean,
they're catching more flack. I guess they tweeted out earlier another story, or at least something that involved silence that people took obviously for obvious
reasons. Took a vow of silence, yeah.
Well, no, it was just almost people took it in the wrong way of, hey, coaching staff were silent on this whole thing of what happened with the assistant coach that. It wasn't in the best taste of what Ohio State at least mentioned on social media. But
I mean, this is a team here that is led by a guy that has no backbone. And I'm sorry, I have no respect for Urban Meyer anymore. Does he have a good football program? Absolutely. Yeah. Are they living on the edge here the last couple of weekends? Yes. They're going to be at Happy Valley, where they've had their own problems in the past, but they kind of cleaned house, put the program back on track. Brought in some good student athletes. Penn State can score. There's no doubt about it.
Both teams can score.
They can score on even the best defenses. So the only reason I'm going to go with this one, even though Ohio State is favored by 3.5, I'm going with Penn State by a touchdown, and just because they're at home. That's all.
Well, with all that being said, I got to go with Ohio State. I think the Buckeyes, they kind of proved to me a few weeks ago, or at least I do believe last week, between Ohio State and TCU there at AT&T Stadium. Ohio State, yes, I think they are a real team. I think it will be a team that competes in that Final Four, at least in the national championship playoff bracket. I do believe they will be in the thick of it. And on the road, yes, it's a tough foe against Penn State, but Ohio State, this team just looks way too for real. They're going to run into tests like this. They already had a few earlier this season. Yeah, I got to go with the Buckeyes. I think that 3.5, I think they cover it. It's going to be a close game. Maybe I got to go with the Buckeyes winning by a touchdown. As simple as that. On the road. It's really a toss-up in this game. Both teams are very good. I just think nothing's slowing down this Ohio State team. I think Ohio State, the Buckeyes, as much as they've been dealing with this controversy preseason and at least kind of continuing in, I think the team as a whole, they could do something special, and they could probably flirt with going undefeated this year, in my opinion.
Works for me.
So you'll go Penn State. I will go Ohio State in game number 3. Now, game number 4 of our Week 4 picks, it will be number 7 Stanford. They are 4-0. We'll be at number 8 Notre Dame, the Fighting Irish, who are 4-0 as well. This will be at Notre Dame Stadium in Notre Dame, Indiana, or South Bend for those folks. This will also, too, kick off at 5:30. You can catch it on NBC. This game for the Fighting Irish, they are a 5.5-point favorite at home. How after Notre Dame has won 5 of their first 6 matchups contested between 1924 and 1989, Stanford has evened the scales in the past 29 seasons. The Irish are just 13-12 against the Cardinal since the 1990 campaign, despite Notre Dame holding a mark of 8-4 advantage in games contested at Notre Dame Stadium in that span. The Irish are combined 22-11-1 in prior home games, pitting 2 teams in the national top 10 entering Saturday's contest with Stanford. Of the 22 wins in top 10 games for the Irish all time at Notre Dame Stadium, Notre Dame was a lower-ranked team in 6 of those victories. So with all that being said, it is my turn here at home. I got to keep on going with the trend that I don't believe in Stanford. Yes, they beat Oregon on the road. They got lucky in that one. Oregon should have won that until a fourth quarter collapse. Stanford, I picked USC. I thought the Trojans were a much better team. USC showing that they're just complete trash in the Pac-12. This is another coin flip, but I got to keep up my trend of going against Stanford. I think Notre Dame at home, South Bend, they're playing. It's a rivalry game. They know each other. At least these 2 schools have been fighting out for quite some time. Same with Ohio State. I got to go with the Fighting Irish winning by at least a touchdown.
I think Stanford's going to win this thing just simply for the fact Notre Dame has played, aside from Michigan, where they won 24-17, they've beaten nobodies. Ball State, 24-16, Vanderbilt, 22-17, and then most recently Wake Forest, 56-27. Stanford has played a much tougher.
And that might be an advantage.
Stanford has played a much tougher schedule. San Diego State, USC.
I don't know about San Diego State, and USC has proven to not be that great of a team.
Oregon most recently, and also too.
Again, they should have lost the Oregon game on the road, but again, Ducks gave that one to Stanford. But maybe for Notre Dame, this is a situation where they take advantage of it. They're not truly tested. They're not really banged up like a Stanford team is. They don't have to go on the road as well too.
They also played. I don't want to say a cream puff team, but UC Davis Aggies, where they won 30-10. The thing is with the Stanford Cardinal, they realize where their problems lie, and it's in their offensive line. And they spent the entire week working on protecting that quarterback. So when you got Notre Dame, and Notre Dame's going to pin their ears back, and they're good on both sides of the football. It's going to be in South Bend. I think the Cardinal will be ready for the challenge, and I think the Cardinal's going to win. And I think they're at least a touchdown better than the Notre Dame Fighting Irish coming up on Saturday.
So we'll disagree on that one. I think Notre Dame is a set.
Right?
Well, again, I had to hedge my bet, but I do believe in my pick, so I think either way, teams can get it done. Again, especially in that Boise State game, I think that has a feeling to get really out of hand, especially what we've seen with Washington State here on the road with Missouri. Boise State, I think, is miles ahead of those 2 teams that Wyoming have seen. Something tells me that Boise takes care of business against 17 points. I think they can easily take that, get that covered coming up.
You know what? Maybe you're right. But then again, too, it's in Laramie. We saw what the Cowboys did 2 years ago in Laramie. We see that a lot of things have developed for the Cowboys. The bye week came at the right time for the Cowboys.
So did Boise State, who's coming off a bye week as well. So guess what? They're on the same even playing field as the Cowboys.
And you know what? It may work out for both teams. It may not work out at all for anybody. But the thing is, it's in Laramie. There's going to be probably a very good-sized crowd there.
You can only hope.
Boise State has almost become like BYU of the Mountain West Conference. So nobody likes Boise State because they always win. So I'm telling you, it's just going to be one of those wild atmospheres.
I'll use the Warriors analogy of, hey, if you're complaining about a team at least winning all the time, do something better. Be better. Get better personnel. And
what's to say that the Cowboys aren't better?
Compared to Boise State and what we've seen so far this year, again, the struggle with Wofford, again, the losses to Washington State, to Missouri. Sorry, the Cowboys, they are not on the same playing field as the Boise State Broncos. let's just be honest with ourselves.
Okay.
All right, game number 5 to wrap up our Week 4 picks. This game will be on Monday, as it will be Monday Night Football in the NFL. It will be the Kansas City Chiefs. They are undefeated with 3 wins and 0 losses. That will be at the Denver Broncos. They are 2-1 after last Sunday's loss to the Baltimore Ravens. This will be at Bronco Stadium at Mile High in Denver, Colorado. 6:15 is where you can see this game on ESPN. The Kansas City Chiefs are 4.5-point favorite in this. We both went with the same team because the Chiefs are for real. I think the Chiefs are for real. They can get it done even on the road against at least a divisional opponent. This Broncos team, this Broncos defense is not slowing down Patrick Mahomes. Let's be honest. The no-fly zone of Denver does not exist anymore, and Patrick Mahomes is going to run wild on this team. Yes, Kansas City wins, and I think they win pretty handily on Monday.
Oh, I do. I agree. I think the Broncos' 2-game win streak that they had at the beginning of the year is probably going to be their best thing that they had happen to them. Defensively, they may slow down Mahomes.
No.
They may. I didn't say they will.
No.
Defensively,
not this Broncos defense.
Well, the Broncos defense is a lot better than the 49ers defense, and I think they may slow them down.
That's not saying much, as we've seen recently. But
again, they're not going to put on the 34 points on the scoreboard. They may win this thing by a couple of touchdowns. They may win like 24-10, but the thing is they will slow down Mahomes somewhat, but Kansas City will be more than up to the challenge in this 4.5-point favorite. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Kansas City to win this thing, too, especially with it being at Bronco Stadium at Mile High.
So that'll be our only game they agree on. So, again, those are our Week 4 picks. So look for all that information to go up on Monday, along with who's winning, who's losing, updated records, where you go on to 1480KRAE.com, go under the Wyoming Sports Talk Today page, and on the corner side, or at least on the right-hand side, you will see where it says Weekly Sports Picks and Standings. You click on that little link, and it sends you on over to those updated Week 4 picks, along with also to our NFL divisional picks and our MLB divisional picks as well, where you can see how we've done throughout this year coming up. So here we are, close to the 4 o'clock hour of the shortened show.
Let me give you an update here in the Rockies game. The Rockies are leading 5-3 as Adam Ottavino's come on in the 8th inning and brought gasoline with him to the fire, already given up 2 runs here in the
and he's usually Mr. Consistent of that bullpen.
He's up and down. Anyway, there's no outs for the Phils. They got a runner at second base, and right now the Phillies have already pushed 2 across the plate. 5-3 Rockies lead in the top of the 8th inning with a win.
They'll be a game ahead of the Dodgers.
They'll be a game ahead of the Dodgers.
Who sit idle.
Matter of fact, I punched up the standings here because Cardinals lost again last night.
Mm-hmm. Because with that loss, the Brewers win. Both the Cubs and the Brewers clinched playoff spots. They have not at least clinched a division for either, because that's still a competitive race. And
the Cubbies wrap up with the Cardinals. The Brewers get the Tigers at Miller Park. Who do you feel better with? You feel better with the Brewers' chances of winning the Central.
And especially with that matchup, yeah, absolutely. Again, the Tigers they could care less of what happens. Again, it's a completely different league. Team has, it's not like what Giants and Dodgers could be of, hey, the Giants are going to try to play spoilers, what we can only hope for, but that's a throwaway series. That should be where Milwaukee cruises and just sweeps.
But here's what's going on as we speak. With the Rockies leading, if they hold on to win, if they finally get smart and get Ottavino out of there, the Rockies will be a full game up on the Dodgers. They will be 2 games ahead of St. Louis with 3 to play.
Yeah.
St. Louis they do not hold down that second spot. The second spot now belongs to the Dodgers, the second wild card spot, as they are, if I look at the standings right, they're a game ahead of St. Louis, and they got 3 to play. L.A. wraps up with San Francisco, where we've already had this discussion numerous times saying the Giants are just going to roll over and play dead.
It feels like it. Again, it doesn't look like they're going to take an advantage of that series against the Dodgers, but you never know. You really don't know, again, especially where it's going to be in San Francisco. Hey, for the Giants, they have been sporting one of the better home records across the NL West. Go figure, of a team that's going to finish in fourth place, but they had one of the better home records. So you would think odds are with the Giants, especially where a lot of emotion is going to be in the series. It's going to be Hunter Pence's last home series with the Giants, as he's kind of said, I'm done with my career. So very emotional, and yes, Giants will be fighting for it. It is the heated rival. You want to play that spoiler for them. We'll see. We'll see. And again, for the Rockies, hey, amongst this roller coaster ride, you figured out things. You took advantage of the Arizona Diamondbacks. You've taken advantage of at least the Phillies that are just, they, for whatever reason, have just kind of given up on the regular season. Hey, kudos to you. You're within reach of that brass ring to finally get your first ever NL West division.
Again, they got to hold on and win this thing.
Are fans even going to show up? Who knows?
You got Washington coming into town beginning tomorrow night. So Washington in for Friday, Saturday, Sunday. What are they going to bring into town? Are they going to bring in Scherzer for 4 innings? Are they going to bring in Strasburg for 4 innings?
I think Harper still has something to prove as well. Again, this might be.
Does he even really care? Well, he'll like Coors Field just because it's Coors Field.
But also too, I think for Harper, it's for him to put a little showcase on. If it is, hey, thank you to the national fans as much as it's on the road. But hey, this is the last time I'm donning this uniform.
I thought he was going to hang tough with the.
It doesn't look like it. It does not seem, at least of implications right now, especially what he posted on his Instagram account, where it's looking like it might be the end of times there for Bryce Harper at the Washington Nationals. So we will see about that.
Well, and again, too, you don't know what the Nationals are. The Nationals going to be like the Giants? Are they going to be like the Phillies? And I mean, even though they went with Jake Arrieta today, the Phillies, and they let him go, I think, through 7 innings. We don't know what's going to happen. And it seems like everybody in the National League, and I mean this sincerely when I say this, everybody does not like the Dodgers for some reason. So look at Arizona. They stood tall and took 2 out of 3.
Well, Dodgers are that team that just constantly wins.
It's the team you love to hate.
Yeah.
So, and again with St. Louis. St. Louis is always there when it's said and done. People would love to knock St. Louis out of the mix as well. For the Rockies, they're the sentimental favorite to win the West because they've never done it. It's their 25th year in business. So, can they pick up their first ever NL West? But it looks pretty good.
I think, probability and favorability is definitely at least very high. For
odds are in their favor that they should at least obtain that second wild card.
If they collapse against the Nationals, that would just
but if you're
what a footnote for this Rockies franchise.
What are you telling me that's different? I mean, the Nats are really a good baseball team that just screwed up like the Giants did this year.
Yeah.
And then also, too, they've unloaded a couple of their properties. Gio Gonzalez, they got rid of him. They got rid of Murphy, the second baseman. So, again, I don't know what team's going to show up. By the way, 2 outs now in the top of the 8th inning for the Rockies and the Phillies, 5-3 that score. Earlier, the Yankees beat the Rays 12-1. There's still a race between the Yankees and the A's for that number 1 spot.
I mean, all teams are in there, but it is.
The A's will wrap up with the Angels. I'm not sure who the Yankees are. No, they don't have Boston. No. But anyway, the point is, though, there's that one determination that who's going to be the number 1 seed. I think the Yankees probably will have that under their belt tomorrow. But the most important thing for the Rockies tomorrow night is win. Get through Philly here today, win against the Nationals, and basically they got to control their own destiny. They can't so much look anymore at the scoreboard. They've got to win.
Yeah.
And the Dodgers, if the Giants want to do them a solid, hey, go out there and play your top 9 guys.
Anyways, we're at the top of the hour there, sick boy.
I'm going to go and call it a day. Get some more medicine in my body. Be back with you again tomorrow.
Stay far away from me.
Well, I try to. You just happen to hang around me too much. Anyway, we will be on there about 5:20 tomorrow, 5:25 for our pregame show. Kickoff will be at 6 p.m. We do want to remind you this evening it's our last night of the Golden Age of Radio Theater for the week. 2 Red Skelton shows back-to-back from 8 until 9, an hour of